bad boy Ross Barton, played by Mike Parr, hasn't had the best time on the ITV soap, with numerous events and failings leaving him a shell of the character who arrived on Emmerdale in 2013. Tonight's episode doesn't stray away from that narrative, with Ross' dodgy dealings coming back to haunt him. Having stolen Lawrence White's, John Bow, cars and hidden them at Butler's farm, brother Pete, Anthony Quinlan, discovers the stash after becoming suspicious of his brother's shifty behavior. The mechanic has been in a low mood recently, with the disappearance of Rebecca White, Emily Head, playing on his mind. But Pete's suspicions are aroused when Ross seems in a cheery mood, having found a buyer for the cars. When Pete confronts Ross at the barn, he doesn't realize that they have company, with his girlfriend Rona, Zoe Henry, just the other side of the door. As Pete tries to explain to his brother that Rona won't be happy about the stolen stash, she walks in and confesses that she has overheard everything. Rona demands answers from the Barton boys, but the vet is the least of Ross' problems when Kane Dingle, Jeff Hordley, arrives and is shocked to discover what Ross has been doing. Kane adds to the angered response Ross has received for his actions, but informs him that an unmarked police car is sat outside. Although furious with Ross, the men have to think quick on their feet to hide the stolen vehicles and keep the police from finding the stolen stash. But has Ross finally run out of time with the scheming and dodgy dealings, and does he now face time behind bars? Or will the Barton boy end up on the run? Mike Parr announced earlier this year that he will be leaving the long-running soap later this year. But could this be the conclusion to Ross' story? Since arriving in the Dales more than 5 years ago, the Barton boy hasn't strayed far from trouble. Arriving as the first member of the extended Barton family, Ross' time on Emmerdale started with a bang, when he attacked Laurel Thomas, Charlotte Bellamy. The bad boy of the Dales also had an affair with his brother's fiancée, Debbie Dingle, Charlie Webb, with the deception revealed on the couple's wedding day, which led to the dramatic showdown in which Pete believed he had murdered his brother. Much to the relief of his brother, Ross survived the beating, but the anguish didn't stop there when in later years their dad James, Bill Ward, mum Emma, Gillian Kearney, and younger brother Finn, Joe Gill, were dead. It was also discovered that Ross had fathered Charity Dingle's, Emma Atkinson, youngest son Moses, who she gave birth to while in prison. Earlier this year, Mike Parr gave one of his hardest-hitting storylines when he was the victim of an acid attack, set up by Debbie Dingle, which was intended for Joe Tate, Ned Porteous. Since the attack, Ross has been struggling to deal with his permanent facial scars, resulting in a character who has become a shell of the character he was before the attack. Emmerdale continues tonight at 7 p.m. on ITV.